welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Live Show.
Woo! Such a showman, Heifetz.
My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and all of you came here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Please give yourselves a round of applause. This is awesome. Thank you.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That was a Black Eyed Peas.
Great song.
So there has been, dude, I don't want to, that's the theme of the whole show, is how old we are. There's been a 6-week residency here at the El Rey Theater. So 6 Ringer podcasts the last 6 weeks. This is the last one. So first of all, thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Thank you if everyone's come to multiple. And also just thank you to everyone here at the El Rey Theater who has been amazing to work with. Honestly, Bailey, Owen, Carrie, thank you to everyone at The Ringer and Spotify, Elizabeth Fierman, Helen, Charlie Tessa, like everybody here tonight, like thank you so much. It takes so many people to put this together. Thank you to the bartenders who are like the Gentleman's Piss Club back there with the bar.
Woo!
They let us do it.
Let us do it.
Phase 1 is complete.
We asked, did not think they would like do it. The gentleman, Cloyce Box on the rocks.
Yeah.
The Maestro, or how do
Maestro?
Fuck. Mike the Headless Chicken, the Yankee Swap, the Porn of the Woods. So thank you.
Yankee Swap.
But
I had a Yankee Swap earlier. It's really good.
Rest in peace.
The drink.
Literally, yeah. And also, of course, special shout out to Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime. Yes, Amazon Prime, baby. Amazon Prime is the presenting sponsor for tonight. My fiance, Flex, actually.
Flex.
She's here tonight.
She's here.
Real.
Flex is
She's
in
real.
the house. She ordered something from Amazon Prime to the hotel. It came in 6 hours. Shout out Amazon Prime. It literally came in 6 hours. Shout out Amazon Prime. We have a lot of fun stuff. Oh, what?
I just want to keep singing Monday.
Tuesday. Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff for tonight. We have a couple surprises. Thank you to everyone who emailed us before the show.
Right.
But we wanted to start with a little training camp news because there's a lot of stuff going on. And one of our favorite things to do is to explain all the mishigas of training camp through movies and movie quotes. Voice crack, Jesus Christ.
You just turned 30. Nice.
Fuck.
That was
You
legit.
take over, Craig. God.
Yeah, we've done a couple in the past. We like comparing movie quotes to training camp news, and we're in LA. This is the movie capital of the world. So, Heifetz, weren't you making the point that LA is the only city where you go to a bar, and if there's 2 TVs, one is playing sports and the other's playing a movie?
Yeah, it's like one has an NBA game and the other screen just has like Master and Commander.
One of my first dates.
I'm like, why?
One of my first dates with my now wife Liz, who's here.
Flex.
We were at some bar in West Hollywood, and American Psycho was playing at the bar, and we just like watched the entire movie, and that was one of our first dates, is just watching American Psycho.
And you guys are getting
And
married?
we're married, so it worked out.
That is even better than you guys meeting by sliding her DMs on LinkedIn Pro.
Can you imagine if we did American Psycho quotes for training camp news? We're not doing that. We're gonna do Zoolander.
Yes. People have seen that?
Who's here seen Zoolander?
Okay. Thank God.
If you haven't seen
Hopefully.
it, Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson play male models. Will Ferrell's in it. It's hilarious. Watch it. DK, kick us off here.
Yeah. So watching the movie last night, every time I saw Hansel, I was just getting
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. I was getting a lot of Aaron Rodgers vibes. There's a scene where Zoolander is like talking shit to him, and he's like, "We got to his Derrick Henry campaign. Sorry you didn't book it." He's like, "Oh yeah? I never even heard of it. Me and my friends have been too busy bathing off the coast of St. Bart's with spider monkeys the past 2 weeks. Tripping on acid changed our whole perspective on shit."
He definitely watched
He
Zoolander
just
in like
went to
2020.
Egypt. Yeah.
He was like, hey, this is me now.
I think Aaron Rodgers sees himself as Hansel, like a Renaissance man who's just really artistic and cool. And there's another scene from the movie where he's like, "So I'm rappelling down Mount Vesuvius when suddenly I slip and I start to fall, just falling. I did that pretty well. Is that Owen Wilson?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. It's good. Keep going. It's good. It worked.
I'll never forget the terror when suddenly I realized, holy shit, Hansel, haven't you been smoking peyote for the past 6 days? And couldn't some of this maybe be in your head? And you know what? It was. That was totally fine. I haven't even been to Mount Vesuvius.
I've never been to Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah, obviously. Rodgers ditched mandatory OTAs to go on vacation to Egypt.
Check out the pyramid. Super normal thing to do.
He's tripping on acid. Changed his whole perspective on shit.
I just think that all the time about that person who tweeted when he did the darkness retreat, and someone tweeted, Patrick Mahomes just won his second Super Bowl at 26, and my quarterback's somewhere in a cabin doing crack.
And with all that said, I'm kind of in on the Jets.
Yeah.
The ayahuasca does get a bad rap because he talked about it after he played poorly a couple years ago. But he had done it in 2019, and then he won back-to-back MVPs after the ayahuasca. Well, look, ayahuasca, psychedelics, it's ego death. Does anyone need ego death? Like, I think he's got to trim the hedges there a little bit every now and then with the ego. Like, this could be the best possible thing for the Jets.
Did you guys see the video that came out today? There's been two of them now. Yeah, of Aaron Rodgers fighting with his receiver, Garrett Wilson. They've been, like, getting in arguments on the field. I actually kind of love that.
I'm in on it.
You're in?
I love it.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, the poor guy, hasn't been able to actually talk football with anybody in his entire career. He's probably finally like having an engaging conversation with his quarterback who knows what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah, he was like, I think people built the pyramids. And Aaron Rodgers was like, whoa.
Like, you know how heavy those blocks are?
You should look into that. Yeah.
You should do your own research. You should look into that.
You should look into it.
Oh, God. Let's not.
Yeah, he's like, Garrett Wilson has like a football peer now that he can, like his old quarterback is literally the third string quarterback on the Broncos now.
Yeah.
He's looking
behind
good.
Jarrett Stidham.
But I feel like you have to be in or out on the Jets because it's so easy to make fun of it, though. I actually think that as nuts as Rodgers is, the Jets will get so much better on offense compared to how much the defense might decline. I actually do think the Jets will make the playoffs.
I think the Bills might be a little bit worse this year. Like, I feel like this is their shot. The Patriots aren't going to be relevant, most likely. So I think it's going to be the Jets in Miami.
And for fantasy, it's kind of perfect because it's like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson are the only two players you want. You don't want anyone else. It's actually the simplest team. It's take Breece Hall, take Garrett Wilson, and, I don't know, mute Aaron Rodgers on Twitter and just don't listen to anything he has to say.
Yeah, I don't think you can take Garrett Wilson high enough. I really think that.
Yeah.
Anytime Aaron Rodgers has given like over 140 targets to a receiver, they've been top 6 at the position in fantasy. So I think Garrett Wilson's going to be. I mean, he was top 5 in targets last year. It was just Zach Wilson throwing to him. So I mean, it should have been me.
Do you think that Aaron Rodgers' house looks like Hansel's house? Shay Hansel. I don't know if you remember in the movie, he goes in and there's like a half pipe. There's a half pipe. He's like introducing everybody. It's just like this bohemian, eclectic group of people.
Did you guys see the quote that Tyler Conklin, the tight end for the Jets, referred to Aaron Rodgers as the Oppenheimer of football? What the fuck does that mean?
I literally have no idea
what does that mean.
What does that? How
Is
do I
that good
take
or
that?
bad?
He's the destroyer of worlds.
Yes.
Like
Aaron Rodgers become death.
He said so much of it is just trying to see the game through Aaron's eyes, and that's kind of impossible because he's the Oppenheimer of football.
what?
It's like the Meadowlands Project. My God. All right. Well, speaking of the Meadowlands here, let me give you another training camp update with Zoolander. So, dude, following the Giants at this point has just been a slog. Yeah, I appreciate the spirit, my God. So the first day of training camp, the Giants put their beleaguered right tackle, Evan Neal, on the physically unable to perform list.
Isn't he? He's like 1 year into his career.
He's like 25.
Beleaguered.
Felt like eons. Anyway, the Giants were like, that's okay. Right tackle's hurt. Well, we signed Jermaine Eleanor to play guard, so we'll move him to right tackle. 90 minutes into the first practice, Jermaine Eleanor is like writhing on the ground in pain. So the Giants are on their third string.
Start me up.
Start me up. Any Tizers.
2 for 20.
But so the Giants are on their third string right tackle, like not even 2 hours into the first practice of the first. And it reminded me of how Zoolander, like all Derek's friends die like 5 minutes into the gasoline fight. And like the Giants O-line, it's just like orange mocha frappuccino. And I don't want to follow this team anymore. Like,
what's the song? Is it "Wake Me Up Before You Go"?
It's Jitterbug.
Oh yeah,
Jitterbug, yeah.
Jitterbug.
By Wham.
Daniel Jones is just like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Don't you think that the orange mocha frappuccino sounds terrible?
I was thinking this.
I didn't know if it was supposed to sound like a bad drink in the movie or if it was supposed to sound like amazing. But to me, I'm like, orange coffee and chocolate is like the worst combo.
Well, all right, this is a tangent, but it reminds me of how, like, when you see it later, did you see that someone had a theory that Seinfeld, the bit is that Larry David thought Seinfeld should be a bad comedian in the show.
Yeah.
But that Jerry Seinfeld never got it because all the parts where Jerry Seinfeld does stand up in Seinfeld suck. All right, this has nothing to do with
I don't mind.
It's fine.
This is the part of the show that usually just gets cut
Yeah, we
out.
usually cut that shit. All right, that's-
The next training camp storyline I wanted to talk about was Xavier Worthy, who's the rookie wide receiver on the Chiefs from Texas. And the Zoolander quote that it reminds me of is when Zoolander's like, I caught my reflection in a spoon while I was eating my cereal. And I remember thinking, wow, you're ridiculously good looking. Maybe you could do that for a career. And I just feel like that's the narrative. Like, as soon as Xavier Worthy went to college, it's like, wow, you're ridiculously fast. You should just maybe do that for a career.
Do that for a career.
And, like, now he's on the Chiefs, and everyone's like, oh, he's the next Tyreek Hill. And at first I was like, that's ridiculous. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe he will be.
What is it? Yeah.
You know the bell curve meme? And it's like, at the beginning of the bell curve, I feel like it's like the casuals being like, whoa. Like, Xavier Worthy's on the Chiefs.
He's
Like,
fast.
damn it. They're going to be really good. And then the middle of the bell curve is like all the stat nerds being like, wow, the 40 time is overrated. And
He was actually not very good on deep.
He's
throws.
under-
he dropped the
Undersized.
balls on the deep passes 7%
I
of the time.
said that a lot actually on the show.
So yeah.
And then, like, the bottom of the bell curve on the other side is like NFL coaches being like, fuck, they just got the fastest wide receiver in the league.
Dude, that's what it's been like watching the Giants Hard Knocks, where you're like, you know, all these, like, when we first started doing this like 8 years ago, I was always like, you know, these guys, and it's true for some of them, like, have forgotten more about football than we have. We'll never know. Like, it's just such a different level of analysis. And then sometimes it's like, you see Brian Dable, like, we got to hire Shane Bowen as coordinator. Like, they ranked 4th in run defense last year. And it's like watching Joe Shane, and it really
We
is.
could
The
do
Chiefs, like, that guy runs a 4.2, and we have Mahomes. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, what's the DK? What was the stat about like the Chiefs' average depth of target?
There was 2 players that were lower in the NFL last year in average air yards per target, and it was it was Joe Burrow,
Who was like hurt
the whole time, just trying to get rid of the ball as fast as possible, and then his backup Jake Browning. And so it was that Mahomes was second to last essentially in air yards per target. It was just a bunch of screens. And by the way, Xavier Worthy has been blowing up training camp. Like, there's a new highlight every week. I'm starting to get really excited about this. Him and Hollywood Brown, who I still love, by the way. I'm actually getting very excited about the Chiefs' offense. It's like back to Occam's razor. You have Patrick Mahomes. You
Fast guy, yeah.
right.
Get ball.
should throw deep. Yeah.
All right, one other Zoolander training camp update here. I actually think the best bit in Zoolander is that Derek Zoolander has like 8 model faces he makes, and they're all the same.
Yeah.
But he has different, like, they're like, it's Blue Steel, Latigra,
Ferrari.
and then
We're working on Magnum.
and then Will Ferrell's Mugatu, and he's like, they're all the same look. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
And this is how I feel about Russell Wilson being like, oh, it's going to be different with the Steelers. And like, it's going to be a new offense. And I'm like, Russell Wilson is on his 7th offensive coordinator in 8 years. And guess what? They've all been the fucking same offense.
Yeah.
Like, they're all the same offense. Like, Brian Schottenheimer's just Blue Steel. Like, Shane Waldron is just Latigra. Like, they're all the same. It doesn't matter who the coordinator is. Russ is too short to see over the offensive line, and now he's too old to run around it, and that's it. And so now you have Arthur Smith. His whole thing is high percentage throws over the middle of the field. And Russ's whole thing is low percentage throws to the outside.
Yeah, but what if he drops Latigra on us?
Yeah, but what if he drops Magnum?
No,
Yeah.
sorry, Magnum. My
yeah.
bad.
He's been working on it for 8 years. That's perfect.
But really, though, like, I mean, shout out our buddy Nate Tice, who had the stat. Russell Wilson threw over the middle of the field last year, literally the lowest rate in the NFL, like 6%, which is basically statistically like a mistake.
So rounding
like,
error.
Rounding.
It's like a statistical anomaly by definition.
It's like one throw a game.
Like, yeah, the ball got tipped and it went to the middle of the field.
they counted that as a middle of the field throw.
But Craig, when you hear that, are you like, are you excited or?
Are you aware of the phrase "any port in a storm"? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, we're coming off Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. Now we have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Fuck yeah. We went from a 4 out of 10 to like a 6 out of 10, but I'm happy with it.
Incremental progress.
Yeah, this is a one-night stand. Look, we're not paying Russell Wilson any money. We're paying him $1 million while the Broncos are paying him 40.
It's true. The Steelers are in your fuckboy era because you literally had Roethlisberger
we're
for
exploring.
Yeah, and you had Kenny.
Explore.
Testing the waters.
No commitment. Yeah.
On the apps.
Exactly, zero commitment. So look, I'm fine with it. This will be a fun season. We'll look back on it and probably not love it, but in the moment,
Didn't make the best decisions, but
It was crazy that they signed Russell Wilson for $1 million. And you're like, you're the starter, and then immediately traded for Justin Fields. Like, yeah, you don't have to win the job, dude.
I was gonna say the Russell Wilson quote or the part of the movie that reminded me of Russell Wilson was when he goes back home. He retires from modeling and goes back and works in the mines. He's like, I think I got the black lung pop.
And somebody does one sled block and he pulls his calf.
Oh my god!
It's been one day, Russ.
yeah, Russ is
Not
already
to be in
hurt.
30 years.
He was back today though, 6 for 6 in 7-on-7s.
All right.
No pads on.
Craig is literally. He's keeping track of training camp stats.
You could trade any quarterback to the Steelers, and I would convince myself they're great.
I
Isn't
could
that the
see
best
it.
part of football?
I saw it happen in real time. Like you literally you talked yourself into it in a matter of 20 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Arthur Smith too. I was like, I'm completely in. He had Desmond Ritter. What was
There's
he
never
supposed to
been
do?
a coach we've been more out on before, and then you're all in.
I'm in.
Okay.
All right.
Buy low.
Next up here, our next segment was inspired by Craig, who is turning 30 this week.
Yeah. You. Super stoked.
Super.
Did you guys see the Happy Birthday Craig on the marquee? He did not.
It was a surprise. I came from the other direction, and I walked in, and everyone was
weren't
like,
counting
"See the
on that,
marquee?"
Craig.
And I was like, "Yeah."
That's great. Pretty cool.
Said the name of the show. But that's very sweet. But my birthday's actually Friday. It's not today.
It was weird to write that, like Happy Almost Friday. Yeah, I don't know what we were gonna say.
Anyway.
But anyway, we have a 30th birthday inspired thing here, Craig. But I wanted to first ask you, how does it feel to be in the dying twilight of your 20s?
It doesn't feel great. However, I feel like, you know what? Now, I've been actually very against aging players in fantasy football, and now I'm 30. I'm like, I feel great. And so if I feel great, Cooper Kupp, I got to feel great too. So now, genuinely, I'm like, I'm all in on guys over 30 now. They got, they have the science and medicine these days, the diets.
When we started the show, you were like, why would you draft an old guy when we could just have young guys? And now we're here. We're like, dude, the young guys don't know anything.
And I was like very against all the skinny guys. And now I'm like, Xavier Worthy. Look, this is what 30 is about, reinventing yourself. But so the concept for this segment is I have this theory. It's like a half theory, but in everyday life, there are no 30s. You're either in your 20s or you're in your 40s. And like basically it's like you're in your 20s until you have a kid, and then you're in your 40s. If you're 34 and you don't have a kid, like you're in your 20s.
It's a state of
Like
mind.
my cousin's like 26, he had a kid. I'm like, you're in your 40s now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through players in their 30s and decide if they're in their 20s or in their 40s.
Yeah, and like in football terms,
Yeah.
like for example, like Tyreek Hill is 30, but like he's the fastest
Against
person on
20s.
Earth. So until he's not the fastest person on Earth, he's going to be in his
Effectively.
20s.
And then like
Yeah.
Miles Sanders is 27, but like Miles Sanders in his 40s.
Rashad Penny, 28. He retired. today.
Rashad Penny's like eligible for
I know.
AARP.
Force him out.
Yeah, RIAARP to Rashad Penny. Okay, so let's start here. LA, little Cooper Kupp, Craig. Cooper Kupp.
I'm all in on Cooper Kupp is 31, but that biological age, dude, that guy's like 25. He is an health psycho. Puka Nacua, the other wide receiver on the Rams, worked out with him. This guy's 20. Puka Nacua is 24 years old. Worked out with Kupp this offseason. Said he threw up every day for a week working out with Cooper Kupp at his house. Kupp just seems like I don't even know if he's a good hang because he's so health conscious.
He gets up at like 4 a.m. He's like on the Mark Wahlberg.
He's the guy on vacation it's like 8:30 in the morning. Everyone wakes up. He's like, "You guys just getting up?"
He's what all those like hustle
Wow.
all those hustle porn accounts on Instagram are like. This is what CEOs do.
Yeah.
Bob Iger's up at 4:30 in the morning reading the news, doing the treadmill.
Cooper Kupp. He's like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's day one. 10 a.m.
Every day
I'm
is 6
doing
days.
a month every week. You guys.
Fuck, that was such a funny video. I forgot about that.
Wait, was that real or was that a?
No, that was
that
a
a
real
bit?
person did that. That was
I'm like, dude, I don't know if your math really adds up.
that was Russell Wilson when he was trying to rehab his finger or whatever,
Oh,
19
yeah.
hours a day. He's like, I'm doing it while I sleep, so it's like 3 days every day. And we're like, that's.
How was
Sure.
he doing that while he slept?
He was like a hyperbaric chamber.
I think he was lying. I don't know.
But okay, so anyway, with Kupp, I'm like, 2 years ago, this guy was the best wide receiver in the league. He was super banged up last year. He had 2 hamstring injuries before the season started. Then he had an ankle injury during the season.
God, that sucked.
And then once he got healthy, the last 6 weeks of the season, him and Puka were top 10 guys. I'm like, I don't think it's that crazy that these guys are like can both be top 10, top 12. Waddle and Tyreek have done it.
Oh yeah, it happens like pretty often.
Yeah, and then now in drafts, Cooper Kupp is going 3 times as late as Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is going as like the 7th receiver off the board. Right now, Kupp's like 21st.
Everyone wants the new thing. I mean, Puka is great, but I'm with you on this one. I love Kupp.
I feel like Cooper Kupp's the highest risk reward guy in the entire year because if 3 weeks into the season Cooper Kupp was just like the #1 receiver in fantasy, you'd be like, fuck, why didn't I take that guy? Like, you just feel really stupid.
Totally.
But also,
Also,
how many injuries did you just list out? Like
2 hamstring, 1 ankle. That's nothing.
Also, I don't want to put this on Puka because I love Puka. Yeah, I don't want him to get hurt. That guy got beat to shit.
He did. He had to put on like 10 pounds of muscle this offseason.
He's the 24. He is the Josh Allen gene of like it's why car insurance companies charge a lot for like 24-year-old men. Like the way Puka Nacua runs is with like no sense of self-preservation whatsoever.
Do you think later round draft picks are more willing to like put their body on the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's in his mentality.
The gritty.
You know how old Randy Moss was when he had 23 touchdowns on the Patriots? 30.
Wait, what did you say?
When Randy Moss had 23 touchdowns on the Patriots, he was 30 years old.
This entire show is just Craig coping with becoming 30 years old.
Marvin Harrison, 143 catches, a record at the time, 1,700 yards, 30 years old. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah, next up here, the other guy, sneaky 30 years old, is George Kittle.
Yeah.
Niners tight end.
Dude, Kittle is in his 20s. Have you seen him? There was a picture of him at a wedding the other day. He was just
McCaffrey's wedding, yeah.
Yeah, it was right beside a couple other guys and Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan's wearing a tuxedo. He looks really like done up, dressed to the nines, and Kittle, I think it was before the wedding. His shirt's already untucked. He's like already done shotguns. He's getting the party started before the wedding even starts. This is like he's the type of friend that you have that is basically just every time you go out, he's getting in fights, he's getting kicked out of the bar, but he's also like extremely competent person, right?
Yeah, he's like the type of guy who just still like sends it, and he's 35 years old, but he also makes like $300K in medical sales. What?
Here's what scoring 3 touchdowns against the Chargers taught me about B2B sales.
B2B. Just killing it.
He's got like 3 kids at home. We're like, how are you out right now?
Beautiful kids.
Yeah.
I think, what do you guys think though? So in the Super Bowl, he hurt his shoulder and then he couldn't lift because he had surgery. So he lost 30 pounds and then he like regained the 30 pounds. Like he went from 244 to 214 and back like a week ago.
214? Can you imagine Kittle at 214?
And I'm like,
he looked thin too. You could see it in his face.
That's kind of weird though. Like I don't know how I feel about like the snip snap. I feel like that has to affect you. Like
it's muscle memory.
I like never draft Kittle because I've been waiting. I don't ever want to be a year late on him. I'm always trying to be a year early. Like every year I'm like, it's gonna happen. He's gonna drop off this year, and he never really does.
The thing with Kittle though, like I'm in on him. I think he falls into he's in his 20s. Like I'm still buying him. He's so consistent, which I didn't really think I realized how consistent he was over the last couple of years. He's ranked inside the top 5 in points per game over the last 6 seasons every year. And he's only had one season essentially where he missed a bunch of games.
I know. For some reason, he has like the label as injury prone, but he's really not.
14 plus.
It's because he doesn't go down. He just knocks the shit out of everyone who's trying to tackle him. But the other person who, to your point, DK, about, no, sorry, not DK, you just said that Kittle. I get him confused.
Craig.
One of them, I don't know. But you were just like, you're always afraid of the year, like getting, you're buying the stock at the peak.
You don't want to be a year late.
Because that's like Travis Kelce forever. Like, you're like, oh, I'm going to take him the 1 year he goes down, and then, my bad, like Travis Kelce, I was like, oh, he hasn't been hurt in 10 years. He hasn't missed a game in 10 years, and then like immediately gets hurt in week 1. But Kelce's that guy. And for Travis Kelce, so he's what, 34 years old?
I think he's going to be 35.
35
this
soon.
Year?
And if he's 20s or 40s, I think it's obvious at this point, Travis Kelce's 40s in the regular season, but he's in the 20s for the playoffs. Like, he's that guy who's like, he doesn't live that way anymore, but when he's on like a bachelor party, he can still like totally send it. Like, he's still got that dog in him, but he's still kind of like actually quiet on the, like you go to his house and you're like, oh, you didn't have any beer in here. He's like,
Frank the Tank in Old School. He's like, just a taste. Tastes so
I'll
good on the
one.
lips.
That's one of the greatest.
All right, I'll do 1 beer bong.
But so he's so much better in the playoffs. The last 5 seasons, Kelsey averaged 6 more fantasy points per game in the playoffs than during the regular season, which the teams are better in the playoffs. If you prorate his playoff stuff to a season, which you have to lose games because he's played so many, his average season in the playoffs alone would be 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's what he averages.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they're clearly keeping Kelsey in the garage for peak performance. Like, I just think that at the end of the day.
Both at the beginning of the day.
At the beginning and the end of the day.
And at the end of the day.
But I feel like Kelsey used to stat chase. But honestly, I feel like now Kelsey's ring chasing.
Yeah, I mean, a three-peat has never been done.
Yeah.
It's fun. I feel like you don't often see. I mean, is it that common in the NFL to have like kind of like keeping guys in the garage into the playoffs? It's very common in basketball.
Gronk.
Oh, I guess Gronk.
Just
He's maybe the only one.
Yeah, he's kind of the.
I know, I feel
it's
like-
kind of like, oh, guys are coming from ACLs. Adrian Peterson, you're like, wasn't it like 15 years ago? The one time.
Because it's like in the NBA, like LeBron can like chill for 3 quarters and then kind of like still get his 25. In the NFL, it's hard. Like when you're on the field, you're playing football. Like you can't like avoid getting hit.
Just running around.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite Chiefs Mahomes moment ever was the Super Bowl this year. The confetti was falling. And they just won back-to-back Super Bowls. And Patrick Mahomes grabs Travis Kelce and he grabs Chris Jones, who's like their best defensive player. And he's like, guys, we have to go for a three-peat because it has never been done. And like Travis Kelce has this crazy thing in front of him where the maniacal focus in that moment to think about winning again. And if Kelce does a three-peat, the only three-peat in the Super Bowl era ever, like Tom Brady never did a three-peat. And then on the field, then you propose to Taylor Swift, 4th ring, and then like you ride off in the sunset and you're like, he's the greatest football player ever. Like that's what he's thinking about. He doesn't care about 1,400 yards in the regular season. So I think that like if fantasy went to the playoffs like Bill Simmons' league does, I would take him. But I feel like he's more concerned about just being the greatest player ever.
So you're out.
I think he's 40s in the regular season, 20s in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like, isn't he still your number 1 tight end in your rankings?
Yeah, he's good though.
Okay.
But I ranked him late enough that like I put him late enough that I don't think you'll get him.
If they three-peat and he proposes to Taylor Swift,
That'd be crazy.
yeah, I feel like he is on the cusp of like Apex Mountain all time, like just kind of life.
The
Yeah.
highest, the Everest.
Like
apex
also,
mountain.
like that's a
Think of
three-peat.
someone who's like had a better 2 years if
Also-
he wins 3 straight
Yeah.
Super Bowls and proposes to Taylor Swift.
It's a three-peat that starts with beating your older brother in the Super Bowl and ends with you proposing to the most famous woman in the world. That is.
And then he sells his podcast for $100 million.
Yeah. Thank you. Shout out Amazon Prime. Thank you. Yeah.
Where he's hosting a game show, I believe. Are you smarter than Are you smarter than a celebrity? I believe he's hosting. We'll see.
All right. Next up here, 20s or 40s.
Joe Burrow, who is having once again a weird offseason. The guy can't have a normal training camp. It's always something with this guy.
It is always something with
It's
this
always
guy.
fucking something with Joe Burrow. This is year 5 of the Burrow era. We have year 1, COVID, so he didn't have a training camp. Year 2, he tore his ACL. Year 3, he had appendicitis, so he missed a bunch of time, lost weight.
Who does that?
Last year, he had a calf strain, which like ruined the first half of his season, as you talked about earlier. And then this year, he has this bizarre wrist injury. He's just like your friend who always just has an ailment. There's always an excuse.
I have shout out my friend Ro. Do you guys have a friend who like every time you're on a trip or something, they always have some weird excuse why they're not drinking? And it's like, I might have
this
like,
guy right
yeah,
here.
this guy's like, oh, I'm on
He's like, dude, no, I'm not.
yes.
Fuck you. He's holding a beer right now.
I know. But it's like, my friend Ro is like, oh, I'm on antibiotics. And then it's like, oh, I might have IBS. And then it's like, oh, I have to get blood work done tomorrow. And I'm just like, dude, he's like, I'm going to cleanse.
Blood work?
Yeah, I'm just like, Joe Burrow's
I'm
like,
fasting.
Burrow is 27 years old, definitely in his 40s.
Yes.
He's on the Stafford track where it's like once every 4 years, like he'll be healthy and they'll be awesome. But most of the time, and it's a bummer because I love Burrow and he's awesome.
You guys are bumming me out.
Now that we're a week removed, you can admit that the Eminem hair that Joe Burrow did is a mid-career crisis.
Absolutely not.
Well,
Absolutely
did you hear about?
I love the hair.
Did you hear why they did it? Him and the lineman. It was like a bet.
Well, that
You
was
think
on
that's fake?
That was on the internet. I can't confirm that.
It sounds wrong.
Well, I heard Burrow say it in an interview. He was like,
okay.
Burrow was like, BJ Hill and I think that's his name. He's like, I told him like, if I dye my hair blonde and buzz it, like, will you? And he was like, sure. So I did it. I don't know why that came up. Feels like maybe an excuse that they're
That's
crafting.
even dumber than I thought. It's just.
But yeah, I don't know. The vibes are weird. The quotes
Yeah.
around Burrow's wrist are so tough. Like, the head coach, Zach Taylor, is not allowing him to practice 3 days in a row. Not great.
No.
Burrow, here's some quotes from Burrow. He's like, there are good days and bad days, and it doesn't really seem like there's any rhyme or reason to it. Okay, not great.
Yikes.
That's like an older person saying that. You're in your 40s. You're like a little
sometimes
wiser.
the knee flares up, and he's like, another quote from Burrow. He's like, sometimes the ball doesn't spin the way I want it to, so we're still working through that.
Jesus.
Like we play in a month. Doors open in a month, Burrow. They were interviewing like surgeons. An orthopedic surgeon is like, I would expect him to have on and off problems from soreness for a year. Not great. And then ESPN's Ben Baby, who covers the Bengals, was like, of all my research, I couldn't find a single other quarterback in the history of football who has suffered this injury. It's only linemen and linebackers. And they don't
throw.
Yeah, it's a bit different with the wrist for an O lineman. So, I don't know. Heifetz got me on this trend where Heifetz has Jamar Chase ranked super low. He's super low on Burrow.
He was the sixth quarterback, Jamar Chase was the sixth ranked receiver with Joe Burrow. He's 39th without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Why would I take Jamar Chase with my first round pick? Dude, you said Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, is not allowing Joe Burrow to throw 3 days in a row, right? It's not Joe's choice.
Jake Browning is kind of sick.
Okay, but what do you think about this? Like,
Lowest A-dot in the league, I heard.
I mean,
Yeah.
lowest data, but he's basically Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So,
yeah.
seriously,
Same
what do you
stats.
think Zach Taylor was told that he was like, oh, okay, he can't throw 3 days in a row? Like, someone told him the details, and he was like, okay, yeah,
Like,
3 days is bad.
Burrow is already like 37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. Like, he won't run play action.
Yes.
He only stands in shotgun now. He doesn't want to turn his back to the field.
The park and bark.
The park and bark. He's Adele.
He's like the old guy at pickup who's like, we're not doing full court. Like, you're not.
That is absolutely a thing. Oh my God.
I'll pick my spots in the paint.
I actually remember like in my 30s playing pickup basketball. I'm like, Jesus, it's like really hard to run full court.
When did you feel like you started to notice a real decline? Physically.
Well, first of all,
physically.
fuck you.
I'm just saying.
Was it 29.9?
Unless you say you are physically at your peak right now.
No.
Athletically, I'm saying, when did you see the dip?
Like 30s, early 30s.
Early 30s?
Ooh.
So yeah, I'd say like 33.
What do you
34.
guys think? When did you start to lose it?
Yeah.
32. Okay. That's where I'm at. That's
I'm
the
in
mindset.
my prime. Yeah.
20s are a state of mind.
So, speaking of state of mind.
Full court sucks. Anyway.
Speaking of state, so there are running backs too that are old, but I feel like the running back curve, running backs age like milk. Like it's not 30, it's not quite right. So Alvin Kamara had this incredible quote the other day because Alvin Kamara wants a new contract from the New Orleans Saints. And Alvin Kamara gave this quote to ESPN, and Alvin Kamara said, "There's like a reluctancy to commit to an aging body at this position. But my bones don't hurt. My legs are working. My hands work. I don't feel like I have aging running back body syndrome." I love that. My bones don't hurt.
My bones don't hurt. Can you describe your pain? My bones. My bones are aching.
So they're a meme like, ooh, owie, ow, my bones. You know that meme?
No, but you should.
Does anyone know
describe
that? I know my run friend is here. He knows that meme.
That guy
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy knows it too. You're now my friend.
I feel like, by the way, we were talking about before the show, half of our show is just describing memes. Is that good?
It's good content. Everyone showed up to hear us
That's
describe
how you know
a bell
we're in our
curve.
30s.
My bones.
Speaking of describing a meme, I basically wanted to do the Dennis from It's Always Sunny meme because it's like we have to rebrand aging running back body
You
syndrome.
guys are familiar with the Dennis system from Always
The
Sunny?
Dennis system.
Yeah, okay.
And basically, we realized we should just call it the DiCaprio, because NFL teams just treat NFL running backs like Leo DiCaprio treats his girlfriends, where it's like nobody over 27, like you're out. And so it's the DiCaprio decline in carries after productive rusher is over 27.
There it is.
DiCaprio.
We're describing an acronym.
And yeah, we can workshop
We
that.
legitimately tried to get a giant whiteboard to
We
have
tried.
We were like, yeah. How do we do that? Do we get like an Uber XL?
Yeah.
No, it didn't work out.
But the DiCaprio, though, is really common. But now that we're old, I think that we actually truly, Craig and I subconsciously try to talk ourselves in to all the old running backs, and we kind of looked up and we're like, is this because we're fucking 30 now?
My bones don't hurt. And I'm 30.
Oh my God! Can you imagine like the injury report? Bones hurt.
Sore bones.
Sore bones.
That'll be Burrow next year.
Oh, I can't laugh because I've like truly hurt myself like toweling off, getting out of the shower. Like I've like fucked up my neck from toweling off, and I don't even have hair. Like I don't. Like oh.
It is true, though. You know, running backs and Leo's girlfriends never get a second contract.
No. Can't commit.
God. Second contract. Yeah.
So, for Kamara...
No, don't turn 27. You're so sexy.
So wait, are we in on a Kamara?
Well, Kamara... Yeah. So, I think Kamara's out on the Saints. Because I think the Saints and Kamara, like that friend group, like, they were really close in high school, and now they kind of look back and a lot of times gone by, and they're like, we don't have anything in common anymore. Like, Kamara's like, he had Drew Brees and Sean Payton and Michael Thomas, and now he looks at the Saints, and he's like, fucking Trevor Penning's the worst left tackle in football, and Derek Carr is his quarterback. He's like the worst hang in the history of hangs. And Kamara's just like, God. And they're like, you want to see each other and, like, get lunch? And Kamara's like, no. Like, I don't.
What are we going to talk about?
All we can do is reminisce. Tell old stories.
Remember the 6 touchdowns at Christmas? Like, dude, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
They are asking him to tell them about the war.
Yeah. But the Saints really are the worst. Like, I think the Saints are that team. If I had to pick one team to just fall off, it's the Saints because it starts in the offensive line. And it's like Trevor Penning's probably the worst left tackle. They have rookie.
He's playing.
Yes, because they are the right tackle. Ryan Ramczyk is going to have to retire. So they have Talise Fuaga at Oregon State, the rookie at right tackle. That's plan A. If those guys get hurt, the Saints are like non-competitive. Derek Carr, they owe him $50 million still. He's literally the worst quarterback in the NFL under pressure. Like, this is the worst plan. And so I just look at this team, and I'm like, someone wrote us an email, and they were like, whatever, card, whatever. And they were like, what teams do you want to avoid? And I'm like, the ones where 4 weeks in, you're going to watch and be like, what the fuck was I thinking? And I think that's Kamara, though. Like, they're already phasing him out. They have new play callers for the first time in, like, 20 years, basically, since Sean Payton left. And I don't know. I think
so you're out. I'm kind of in on Kamara.
Why?
No one else can stay healthy in their backfield.
Do you want to watch that team?
Well, no, not really.
That's not what fantasy's about.
We were going to talk about Kendre Miller being a sleeper, but he got hurt during warm-ups. I'm like...
And then
I can't do it anymore.
Dennis Allen, the coach of the Saints, they were asked him about Kendre Miller's injury. He's the backup running back to Kamara. And Dennis Allen was like, that's a player that has to stay on the field. You can't make the team out of the training room.
Dennis Allen is mean.
What?
He's the meanest coach.
He's tough.
He's like a dick.
You know what's funny? All this stuff you said about the Saints is true. Last season was a mess. Derek Carr had 3 separate shoulder injuries and like literally couldn't throw the ball past 10 yards, which is why. I mean, Alvin Kamara was a top 5 running back in fantasy last year.
He caught 12
which
passes.
Is crazy.
Alvin Kamara caught 12 passes in a game because Carr's shoulder hurt. Kamara, like after the game, was like, "This fucking sucks. I don't want to do this anymore."
I think it was.
That was when he was good.
I think
It's
it was
like, you keep the ball. I don't want it.
lateraling it back. I think it was 13 catches for like 39 yards.
Yeah, he was literally like miserable. But yeah,
The body language, like if we're doing body language detective or whatever, like every time Kamara would catch a ball, I'd be like, oh God, fuck.
If we had a manifesto, like Bill had a gambling manifesto, I'd be like, if a quarterback's receivers were tweeting about him during games in September of last year, don't fucking take people from that team.
Yeah, Kamara is the biggest test of the like volume is king in fantasy football idea. It's like if you truly believe that, draft Alvin Kamara. I mean, again, the situation is kind of exactly the same, and he was a top 5 running back last year.
But they have a new offensive coordinator. No,
They do.
I'm not getting sucked into this.
I'm in.
Well, you're 40.
I'm in.
Get started on you.
I have a different perspective on age.
Yeah, wait, what are your thoughts on 30? Would you have any advice for Craig in his 30s?
Yeah, so I got 2 words for you, Craig. Compression socks.
2
Have you ever
words,
heard of
sore bones.
You want to know how to avoid sore bones? Compression socks. I feel like, do you have a doctor?
Yeah.
Like, you need to get a doctor.
I have a doctor, a primary care physician.
Do you
I have
know
one
his
of those.
name? And, like, he knows who you are?
Well, I don't. I mean, he sees a lot of
Do you
people.
have a relationship with him?
No.
Okay, you need to do that. Let me see, what else? When stuff starts to hurt, It's because you hurt it when you were like 21.
Toweling off. Oh,
Yeah. Like, did you hurt your ankle when you were younger?
no.
I did. I got crossed up in gym class by the starting point guard of the basketball team.
There's a whole story there, I'm sure.
Oh, so you prepared a whole list for me.
Do you know what the two numbers are in your blood pressure? There's two of them.
I do.
Do you know what they mean?
I'm usually. Oh, do I know what they mean? I know they're not supposed to be high. I'm usually like.
What do they mean? I've always wondered this.
I'm usually like. I think I'm solid, like 120 over 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Maybe
I'm
not
Googling
anymore.
this.
after
What does
hearing-
that mean? Do we have a doctor here? What does that mean with the blood pressure? Systolic blood pressure? Oh, diastolic and systolic. That sums it up.
And they're
Thank you.
bad to
I
be
got it
high.
now. Thank God.
It's bad to be high, right?
It's
Yeah, you don't
systolic
wanna
and
be high.
diastolic. Systolic is contracting heart. Diastolic is relaxing. Okay, this is a diastolic podcast.
I hope that you like the music that you like right now because you're not gonna like any new music.
Well, we were playing Black Eyed Peas before we walked out here.
You're just gonna keep playing the old hits. The new stuff is weird.
That's not, they don't make them like they used to. That's true.
This shit's formulaic. It's not true actually, but it kind of is. I think they've actually done studies that like the older you get, you're like the new stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's whatever music you were listening to in high school. I feel like is the music that sticks with you the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But with technology now, it's the same thing too. Because I'm like, dude, that Motorola Razor was sick.
I don't feel that way. I'm like iPhones rock. You think a Razor was cool?
Dude, I had
the
I had
sound of a
BlackBerry.
Motorola Razor?
Did you have a BlackBerry?
No.
No.
They had a
God.
full keyboard.
Yeah,
yeah,
who
yeah.
thought that was a good idea?
I played Brick Breaker on my dad's BlackBerry.
Dude, Snake on the Nokia?
Yeah, I had the LG Rumor. It slid up like it was horizontal.
There was one that would like flip, like it would go in a circle out.
Sidekick. Yeah, those were cool. Remember the LG Chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh.
This
That
is a
was
real
cool.
there,
That
Grandpa.
phone like looked like a nightclub.
Do you remember the Zoolander phone?
God.
Yeah. It's me, Maury. What the shit are you talking about? And then finally, one last thing. Look, I know that you guys own your condo, but home ownership.
Okay.
Flex.
For the homeowners out there, it's literally just moving one piece in the house or yard to another place in the house or yard. So you're going to move something from one place to another for the rest of your life forever.
It's just moving things back and forth.
Yeah, you're like, there's a pile of something there, you're going to move it over there. And then if there's like a piece of furniture, you're going to move it that way.
Okay.
You're going to move dirt in your yard.
Okay.
That's all. That's the rest of your life.
That's the point of life?
Yeah. You just have to move stuff around forever.
If
until
they
you
need
die.
logs, and they need logs. That's an inside joke with Danny.
What's that? I'm telling you, that's like all I do on the weekend is like, I got to move that pile of shit.
Just don't do it. Why the fuck
Which
are
I
you
had
doing this?
already moved earlier.
Just don't move the shit.
You like stage something in the garage, and you're like, well, I want my garage to be clean, so now I got to fucking move that pile to somewhere in the yard.
And that leads to the injuries.
And that's how we built the pyramids. Just moving shit back and forth with the aliens.
And then you're
yeah.
like talking to your doctor who you have a good relationship with now, and you're like,
What's
yeah,
you know your doctor's name?
Yes.
What is it?
Casey.
First name basis.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's younger than me.
Wow. Do you trust that?
Yeah, I mean, he was educated.
Okay.
I did that thing where I looked up like where he went and stuff. I'm like,
Dude,
solid,
the
solid.
first doctor I had after I turned 18 is...
This is really getting sidetracked.
We're so off the rails.
The first doctor I had after I turned 18, my friend Matt, who's in the crowd, knows the story. But basically, he went to school in Guadalajara, and he was the doctor in Impractical Jokers. That was my doctor.
That was your doctor?
Been in like 20 episodes of Impractical Jokers. And I'm like, you know when you go into his office and like talk about your blood work? And he's just like, I shit you not, every time it's just like, have you seen Impractical Jokers? And he's like, that's me. And then we didn't really get to my blood work. I have a new doctor now. Anyway, what were we talking about? Alvin Kamara?
DiCaprio. Yeah. Okay, another running back over 30. Derrick Henry. I love Derrick Henry this year. He's 30 years old, but he's going to feel young again. He's in Baltimore now, for those who are just tuning in. I think he's going to reinvent himself. I really do. This guy's been in the worst situation ever. The last 2 years in Tennessee, the Titans were nearly last in yards before contact. And yet Derrick Henry was top 10 in yards after contact, as in he was getting hit early and going down late.
Dude, he was that American rugby player this week who just
Yeah.
trucked up. Yeah,
That was super cool. And it's like now, okay, so now he's in Baltimore. Baltimore, number 1 in the league in yards before contact, as in like the running backs on the Ravens don't get hit for a long time after they get handed the ball. They don't get touched for a long time.
In large part because of
Lamar.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're changing up their offensive line a lot, but I still feel like Lamar just creates
the
gravity.
threat of Lamar.
Yeah.
I know I've said this before, and I don't care. I was at Ravens camp, and I think in week 1, like the actual things you'd be paying attention to in week 1. The kickoff is new, and it's going to be weird, but of actual aesthetic things, Lamar Jackson standing next to Derrick Henry is so fucking cool. Like they're just so. It is crazy to think that when Lamar is holding the ball out for like a read option with Derrick Henry, and you're kind of like, how the fuck are people going to stop this? It's really cool.
Yeah, and like they love running in the red zone. That's like Harbaugh's favorite thing is he wants to pound the rock in the red zone. And to be honest, Lamar doesn't really run in the red zone. I think they want to keep him healthy.
That's because he's sick all the time. He's socially distancing.
Yeah, he has diarrhea.
Are you worried that Henry's going to get sick because he's always like
around Lamar Jackson?
Football?
You know, Lamar said
he's got gloves.
Lamar said this week, he's like, this is weird. I didn't get sick in college. And I'm like, this dude didn't get sick in college. He's not getting sick as an adult.
I know. I don't know what's going on with Lamar.
He's getting mono.
Gut biome.
He's skinny now. He lost weight, Lamar, coming into this season.
His bones hurt.
But, yeah, it's like Derrick Henry is like discount Jonathan Taylor. I really feel that. Gus Edwards, who was the running back for the Ravens last year, had 13 touchdowns last year.
29.
29 years old. And I'm like, you're telling me Derrick Henry's going to have less touchdowns than Gus Edwards?
I'm not going to tell you that.
You're not going to tell me that? Yeah, so I love it. I love Derrick Henry.
I'm not betting against Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry a lot. The other older running back the DiCaprio, I just keep thinking about how Zeke Elliott is back on the Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of Robert Downey Jr. being back in Marvel. And I'm like, didn't this end already? Like, if this guy is back, cannot possibly be going well over there.
The reason he's back is because Jerry Jones gave away that they wanted to draft Jonathan Brooks, right?
Yeah, because Jerry Jones is a month older than Joe Biden.
He forgot they didn't have Zeke. He's like, "Where's Zeke?"
He just forgot that they fired him.
They're like, "Just sign Zeke, sign Zeke, sign Zeke."
Oh my God.
He just saw Zeke on the street and was
Pay him
like,
whatever.
Hey.
It's like a good rom-com plot, somewhere in there. Tricking the guy. He's still there.
Yeah, the only difference is unfortunately, Marvel probably paid Robert Downey Jr. $100 million.
80, but yeah.
80, right?
2
80.
movies.
Plus, 80 plus.
Yeah, with back end points, and now Zeke at least is cheap.
He also Robert Downey Jr. got a trailer complex or something and I'm like, what is that even?
Yeah, they gave him a compound. He also would only do it if the Russo brothers were directing. Those are the only directors he would work with in Marvel.
Trailer compound.
What do you do with a trailer compound?
Are they stacking them?
You need multiple trailers?
You ever seen the container houses where they stack
Yeah.
That's gonna be it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the whole joke.
Wait, so are you saying you're in on Zeke or out on Zeke?
Are you in on Dr. Doom or are you out on Dr. Doom?
I'm
out on Dr. Doom.
You're gonna see it.
I probably will see it. I admit it. I'll see it.
Are you guys in on Dr. Doom with Robert Downey Jr. being back? Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow, one very emphatic. Upset with the sanctity. All right. Any other DiCaprio running backs?
So we just did the whole DiCaprio thing, and now when we've listed 3 running backs, all who are over 20, and we're in on all of them.
You know why? It has nothing to do with the fact that we're old now, and it freaks us out that someone who's 29 might be cooked. Totally unrelated to that.
Definitely not clinging to anything.
Just Derrick Henry, Raheem Mostert, oldest running backs in the NFL. Zeke Elliott, we're like, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right.
What's next?
All right. So we have a little surprise for you guys here. So we wanted to do.
Ezekiel Elliott is here. Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Right, yeah, Robert Downey Jr.'s here. No. Oh, if he is, that now would be the time. No, we
We bring him in an hour into the show.
He's been waiting outside in his compound. He's fine.
That was what the trailer complex was out. No, we wanted to do an Oreo taste test with all the little freaks. Yeah, the little freaks Oreos. And we're like, it's kind of weird if we just sit up here and you guys watch us eat Oreos. That wouldn't really work. So we had them wrap like 300 individual packs of Oreos for all of you. And they're literally being passed out right now as we speak.
So there's going to be 3 different flavors of Oreos you'll be presented with. All fucking bizarre.
And if you have any allergies or anything, like just, don't take them.
So I'm gonna go get our
Yeah, go
Oreos.
get ours.
Okay.
So we can get into a little background here because we have to vamp while they pass out. Like, I can't believe you got another like the Gentleman's Piss Club with the Cloyce box and the rocks. We didn't really think they'd say yes, and they're like, sure.
Who got a Cloyce box on the rocks?
Yeah, did it? Yeah, how are the drinks? Yeah, can we get
one guy?
One guy? We had a whole email exchange about that.
Yeah.
One guy. So the Oreos.
No one wanted Cloyce box.
We wanted. So we got, what are the 3? So first of all, this all started with Craig. Craig was just on this show as like, what flavor are Oreos? With respect to Craig, I thought was like the dumbest fucking question I'd ever heard.
And then you thought about it, and you're like, what flavor are Oreos?
I was like, vanilla and chocolate. And then it does go deeper than that, I think.
Yeah,
I guess it's like an old extinct kind of chocolate.
Yeah, some old weird kind of like black cocoa or something. Nothing else tastes like an Oreo. I think it's an alien superfood sent from the future. It's
With
just
the pyramids.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like no one can really describe the flavor. They're vegan.
It's the weirdest thing. Why are the Oreos vegan? How is that possible?
It works with everything. Like you could just toss Oreo in any kind of ice cream and it just gets better.
So then we went into this and we can't get over, as we were doing this, they unveiled the Sour Patch Oreos.
Yes.
And so we would like to try all these with you. We have the Sour Patch Oreos. We have, what's the birthday cake for Craig? And we have lemon, which somehow is like the weirdest one, is lemon Oreos.
We just thought lemon was fucking hysterical.
Lemon was the
just
funniest one somehow.
What if we just did lemon?
Lemon Oreos.
They're just in a meeting and just like Don Draper in front of the thing, like, guys.
Yeah,
so
lemon.
we got, where's Charlie? How are we doing on percentages?
We can
Sick.
vamp. We can
Yeah,
vamp.
we get, the other, all right.
So yeah, we were looking.
I only got one.
I know.
My first, all right, geez, wait a second. But my first job was actually a marketing internship. You know those supermarkets when you walk through the aisles, there's like a little ad popping out? Oh, thank you. My job was like to place those ads. And I learned that they basically do these Oreos, I think maybe because they think they'll sell, but because they actually just want you to be like, Sour Patch Oreos, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I sure do love original Oreos, and it just spikes the sale of the regular Oreos. So I don't know if these are really good or not, but...
Yeah, it's like they made all these other flavors just to stop you in the aisle and be like, oh yeah, Oreos. And then you're like, I'm just going to get regular Oreos.
Literally a conversation starter. And they're like, what if we made them even weirder?
So yeah, again, Sour Patch Kids, birthday cake, and lemon. We really wanted, we found they make cookies and cream Oreo flavor, which like doesn't make any sense to me. We tried to get those. That goes to my point that like, I don't know what flavor Oreo is.
They don't know.
They don't know.
So let's do Sour Patch first.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Don't chew on the mic. It'll be really awkward for everybody.
Everybody take a bite with us if you can. Also, if you make sure that you can eat Oreos and you're not going to, you're not allergic to them or anything. We're eating Sour Patch Kids first. It's the one with
Sour
like the,
Patch first. Sour
has like
Patch
the
first.
speckled kind of coloring.
Fucking horrible. That's what we're hearing.
This is an abomination.
I feel like I can taste like the little sprinkles on Sour Patch Kids.
I feel like it gets more Sour Patchy. Like it starts like an Oreo with Sour Patch and it ends like Sour Patchy. Can I tell you? I kind of like them. Kind of good.
Craig can't even finish his.
I'm not finishing that.
I kind of like it.
Well, it's weird because they actually start sweet and end sour. Isn't that the opposite of? Isn't Sour Patch Kids like first they're sour, then they're sweet?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that their slogan?
Yeah.
This starts sweet and then ends real sour.
All right, so
That's a 1 out of 10.
next up,
What do you get? Wait, what are you giving it out of 10?
4.8.
Okay, decimals.
I don't know, like a 6.5.
Okay, I'm going 1.
I think it's all right.
1.
That was so bad.
You want a lemon or
What do you want to do next? Birthday cake?
All right, wait. First of all, also,
Wait. Yeah.
should we sing to Craig?
No.
Yeah.
Craig, you eat it
I
while
need
we
you guys to
sing.
sing because I can sing.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Craig. Happy birthday to you. How are they? Yeah.
That was very sweet. That was not a good cookie.
So this is... Sorry, so this is... I'm like... Yeah.
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake, okay. It definitely smells
It's
like
really,
birthday.
really sweet.
Yeah, it's a birthday cake.
Yeah.
It's I think the theme is I like Oreos and you're much healthier than me.
I love Oreos. I think regular Oreos are great. It's so sweet. I've always had a bone to pick with birthday cake flavor. What is it? Like, same with cake batter. What is the flavor? Sugar?
Yeah,
I'm like yelling at you. I'm like, what is the flavor?
I
You
don't know.
invented it.
You're the
Where's
one who
Christine
bakes.
Dosey?
Okay, what are you rating that one? I'll go 4.
Yeah, I'm not as big on this one. I'm like a 3.
7-1.
Okay.
I like this weird little
How are we
freaks.
feeling about it? What do people
Yeah, yeah.
No, we'll vote at the end.
Yeah, we'll vote at the end. We'll vote at the end.
Okay. Next up and last up,
Dude,
Dude,
lemon.
this one feels fucked up.
These little freaks.
What are these freaks? Dude, lemon. Yeah, we're doing lemon now.
This is insanely good radio. Like, what a good podcast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. This could be terrible. I don't. This feels like a terrible macaroon.
This doesn't really taste
Macaron.
like lemon.
Emmanuel Macaron macaroons.
I don't hate this. I mean, I'm not going to eat it. Like, I wouldn't buy this.
You imagine, like, craving this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still giving that like a
I'm
5
not
out of
into
10.
that.
It's really lemony, I think. You don't get lemon?
No, actually, I do now.
All right, should we what
I'm
do you
not
think?
into
Oh
it.
yeah. All right. So make some noise. If your favorite one was lemon, make some noise.
Yeah, all right, lemon.
Make some noise if your favorite was birthday cake. I feel like that was carried by like one guy.
Yeah.
He
It
really
was
liked
you.
it.
That guy loves those.
Make some noise if your favorite was, what was the first one?
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are sickos.
Vindicated. Vindicated.
Make some noise if you're actually going to buy these things.
Yeah,
You know what they are? You know what these are? These Sour Patch? These are if the Smirnoff Ice was like a food.
yeah.
Like, it's like a bit. Like your friend has to fucking eat them.
we
Like,
should start icing people with these.
we ice people with the Sour Patch.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Fuck,
yeah.
my friend made me eat 6
An
Sour Patch Kids
An
Oreos.
entire package of Oreos.
You're like about to like brush your teeth in the morning. You're like,
That's good.
he hid one in the shower.
All right. You guys want to do some emails?
Emails.
Thank you all for writing in. We got a ton of great suggestions and questions.
I respect people who are like willing to put their handwriting on the line on you know, impromptu. All right. Let's go through. Nope. Can't hold them until. All right. Let's see here. We got
Are we doing names or no?
people actually. I think a lot of people forgot to sign them. So you just shout it out. We have here. Oh, if you guys could do another episode of the Rewatchables, what would you pick?
We could do any movie.
Yeah.
Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. Stay tuned on that, maybe. Yeah.
Potentially in the next week.
Yeah.
Potentially.
All right, let's see here. We got the Democrats got rid of Joe Biden in 3 weeks. Can we finally get rid of defense and kicker in fantasy?
Hell yeah. We're going to see record numbers of people playing fantasy if you get rid of defense. I love it.
I have actually come back around. I'm a commissioner in my high school league. I got rid of defenses and kickers, and now I have added defenses back because I actually think it's fun. I think it's fun to root for a defense. I think that's fun. And I think a little bit of chaos, I think that's fun.
No, you lost
And
me.
then I just like adding a little bit of chaos into fantasy football.
Well, but you don't have kickers.
I could be talked into kickers too.
I think kickers are like essential to the fabric of fantasy, and like the people who want to get rid of kickers are like, and they're like, it's hard to predict the kicker thing. I'm like, that's the fucking point. Like, there's a reason Taco won every season of fantasy in the league. Like, I don't know. Like, at some point, the kickers are essential to the sport itself. 4 people agree with me. Yeah. There are dozens of us. Dozens. All right, let's hear. Why can't Bill Simmons win his 10-team league? P.S. Don't get fired. From Johnny.
It's very simple. Bill drafts like 4 quarterbacks every year.
Yeah.
Every year
can't start any of them.
Bill in a 1-quarterback league has 4 quarterbacks on his 6-person bench, and I try to explain to him that like real NFL teams have like 2 to 3 quarterbacks on their actual rosters. And he's just like, I don't know. He just really wants Gardner Minshew on his bench. I don't know why. We should probably have him win the league soon. We should figure that out. All right, this from Eli.
We need to not tell him about Tony Pollard then.
Jeez, that was a huge mistake. It's from Eli.
Eli.
As a victim of Heifetz's Mike Funk Davis crusade.
A victim.
Crusade.
Crusade.
I want to ask, who is the Mike Davis of 2024?
Is it who your Mike Davis is, or who any of our Mike Davis is?
Porque no los dos.
For me, it's Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Josh Palmer.
I will
go down with that ship.
So, yeah.
Do you have one?
Let me think. Who you got?
Dude, it's probably Gus Edwards, right? He sucks.
So it's just people.
But I love him.
He does not suck.
Dude, he's not good.
Wow.
He's not.
So we're just picking Chargers players.
Yeah, just the Chargers.
I think actually that is the right answer because Craig and I have been way too excited about the Chargers, and they're going to throw.
Dude, Jim Harbaugh literally is
in the league.
Building an entire philosophy around running the ball, and you guys I love this passing off.
Smokescreen.
No.
He has Justin Herbert. I don't know. He had J.J. McCarthy and Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick could throw, but Justin Herbert is one of the best throwers in the league. I don't think they're going to throw the ball 18 times a game. I don't think they're going to turn into Navy.
You're right. It might be 9. All right, we got. Why do you suppose that they played Mbop in the pre-show playlist and not teenagers?
Indeed.
I think it's because I fucking lost the poll 90-10.
Because nobody knows what teenagers is. No, that's not true. A lot of people know what teenagers is.
I don't.
All right, this one's good. This is from Logan.
Logan.
All right, belly button rings, nipple ring, lip ring. You have to have one for the rest of your life.
My God.
Asking the real questions.
For the rest of your life?
Belly button, nipple, lip?
I'm thinking belly button. I'm thinking this is the end when he's like, you couldn't handle my midriff.
Belly button.
I'm going belly button.
That's bold.
The nipple you can see through the shirt. So that's
It's kind of an alpha move, though, if someone you could see their nipple rings through the shirt. It's I don't think you'd fuck with that guy.
Power move?
Yeah, it's a power move.
I'm going nipple.
I'm going nipple, too.
I want to do the lip one. It would be infected all the time.
What's the sensitivity situation if you pierce the nipples?
It's better.
Varying. Someone says varying. It depends.
Just have a sexual awakening.
All the time? Is it constantly, being activated?
Well, what is it now for you?
Yeah.
I'm curious. What is it without it? 0?
Nothing? Normal? I don't know.
Okay, well, it's better.
Okay.
Is what I've heard.
That implies, okay, whatever.
Have you ever had a piercing?
No.
I've just stabbed myself by accident. Never, no, not
a dog actually bit through my earlobe one time. But I didn't have a ring. And then I had the cartilage. That'll age me maybe the most, the cartilage in the early aughts.
What happened?
It was up high?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
How did it get up there?
Raise your hand if you had the thing where it was or if you do have it with the bar that would go from one side to the next. There we go.
I have no idea.
Are you
what
in
he's
my
talking
generation?
about.
That's it. In the industrial. Yeah.
Wait, so how did the dog bite the ear?
I don't know. I was playing with a dog.
Okay.
I'm moving on. This one's from. They didn't write. 2 real baseball players and a lie.
2 real baseball players.
These
and
are
a
2
lie?
real baseball players and 1 lie. Number 1 is Ugly Johnny Dick Shot.
That might be the worst we've ever heard, or the best we've ever heard.
That was one of the
Johnny
drinks
Dick
on the
Shot.
menu tonight.
Ugly Johnny Dick Shot.
I know Johnny Dickshot is real because we got tagged in probably about 400 tweets. Like 400 people tagged us in the same tweet, and it was like something about Johnny Dickshot.
Do you think he was hot?
We have a brand.
I bet he was hot, right?
He had to have been.
Who was that other guy where his like nickname was the opposite of Sloppy Thurston?
Sloppy Thurston, because he was
And he was super organized.
Sloppy Thurston.
They were
never
like, this would be a
drank.
funny bit. Let's
He
call him
actually-
Sloppy.
he's actually an accountant.
Yeah.
Number 2, we got Ben Bushyhead.
Ben Bushy Head.
That
Yeah.
feels fake.
Ben Head.
And 3, we have Cannonball Titcomb.
Cannonball's real.
They don't make him like they used
All right,
to.
wait. Let's do. If you think, which one do you think? If you think number 1, Ugly Johnny Dick Shot's the lie, makes him sound.
Yeah.
Everyone's in.
Well, you raised your hand. Yeah, you
Yeah.
live with it. 2 is
Johnny
Do you think
Dick
Ben
Shot.
Bushyhead's the lie? Yeah. 3, Cannonball Titcomb. Ben Bushyhead's the lie.
Yeah.
Titcomb.
Amazon Prime's over there. Like, what did we get ourselves into?
Talking about nipple piercing?
Yeah, I know. All right.
Speaking of Titcomb. Yeah. No? I don't know how that works.
All right. I don't know who wrote this, but they wrote a different question. I'm not going to read about Quentin Johnson, but just Quentin Johnson.
Don't.
Just Quentin Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Quentin Johnson. He wrote this?
I didn't explain it very well. I'm going to move on.
I'm confused.
Anyway, this question's from someone who didn't write their name.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Come on.
Environment is not a factor. Which sea creature would any of you most evenly be matched with in a fight?
Sea creature.
What does environment not a factor mean?
Are we in the water with them?
That's
Like
the
it's a
environment.
fair fight in the water.
We're in like a pool.
How is there a fair fight in the water?
Okay.
Maybe we can stand
Yeah.
in the pool.
Oh! That actually like 2-3 feet, like waist deep
4
water.
feet, yeah, 3-4 feet deep.
I think like a lemon shark for sure you could beat in a fight.
What about
no
a sea
question.
turtle? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you think you'd lose to a sea turtle?
What about a tortoise? Those are like 700 pounds.
Somebody yelled narwhal. That would stab you.
Dude, that's like the last thing I'd pick. Ariel, like the mermaid?
You
She
think
kicked my ass.
They did say sea creature.
Yeah.
It was not specifically
You think you
like
could take a
real
dolphin?
animal.
Aggressive swimmers.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
you're in a
no.
pool though. You're in a pool.
dolphin,
No chance.
Dolphin would like hump you.
This is like when we said that we could
It's a
beat
thing. It's a thing.
All right.
It's like when we said
People
we could
know.
beat a
People
goose.
Then I won the fight.
They're 98% the same DNA.
It's a fight.
Wait, what is the? Sorry, what is the question? What sea creature could
Which
you
sea
take?
creature would you be most evenly matched with? I think like a medium-sized shark, but not like a great white.
No.
No,
Yeah.
because
Not like a great white.
they have teeth.
Yeah. What? They all have teeth. They're sea creatures. Like a lemon shark, like I don't know, like a yay big lemon shark. Yeah, like a sand shark too. Those things are.
You guys remember from Jackass the whale shark Gummer?
No.
Oh, people are my generation probably.
What? A gummer or a gunner?
Do I have to explain to you what it is?
Apparently.
I feel like I already explained what Hummer was on this podcast.
Oh God.
It's similar.
Oh, like when like. Are we talking like a? Are we talking like a horse just
Dracula
won the?
musical.
Is this like a horse just won the Kentucky Derby situation?
What?
No. Oh, I was thinking like you have to
Explain it, DK.
Well,
We're at the Gentleman's Piss Club.
Okay.
Explain it.
a Gummer is
Oh, I know.
fellatio with no teeth.
All right, that's a bit too inappropriate for the show.
It was.
Jesus.
I didn't make it up. It was on Jackass. The guy got in a whale shark, his mouth, or her mouth. I don't know. I don't.
What the
remember.
fuck are you talking?
And did they
It
then,
was a major movie. What are you guys talking about? You guys are too young for Jackass, I feel like.
No, we watched Jackass.
I blocked that out. I don't remember that. All right.
Anyway,
Next up
one of
here.
the greatest skits of all time.
Sounds great.
He filled his pants
Can't
with
miss.
shrimp.
What?
He filled his pants with like plankton or something.
I'm trying to move on. Like,
Trying to move on.
You like have a PowerPoint?
Take the life raft.
Oh, just like going down memory lane. Yeah.
Memory lane or your spank bank? Jesus Christ. Which NFL team's mascot or name would be hardest to beat in a fight?
Oh, this is a great question.
Would be the hardest to beat?
Giants.
Yeah, but I feel like we could run around their legs and like knock, like tighten it up, knock them down. Like,
Well, also, similarly, Casey and Morgan. Shout out Casey and Morgan.
Casey and Morgan.
Casey Morgan.
They asked a similar question, and they said that we could team together. So I think the three of us together. So like the Detroit Lions, could three of us beat a lion?
No.
No shot.
That would no.
The three of us could not.
Jet.
That's number one.
Ill-advised jet. What about the Bills? Are we gonna fight Bill?
It's Buffalo Bill.
I mean,
yeah.
Bengals and Jaguars would be difficult. A bear would be hard.
Bear.
A bear.
A raven? We could beat a raven.
We could beat a raven.
I would fucking hope we could beat a raven.
Ravens are big.
Ravens are big. Are we need a fish big?
Do you think we
Eagles,
could
too.
take a Bronco, the three of us?
Fuck no.
Okay. All right. Just
Think
brainstorming.
you're gonna break in a horse? Cardinal. We could beat a
Peck your eyes
cardinal.
out. What about a ram?
The three of us corner a ram?
No, it's gonna.
You're gonna like. I saw something on TikTok. It was like a guy was like jumping over a ram.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
49er pickaxe. Yeah. Someone said a saint isn't fighting back. That's pretty good.
The Saints have like
we
the
could
power
kick-
of God.
We could kick the shit out of a saint.
Hyphens.
No?
Quote: We could kick the shit out of a saint.
We should probably end the show now.
What about the Vikings? That would no.
Fuck no. What?
3-on-1?
No.
Okay.
How old is he?
Is he over or under 30?
All right.
How are his bones doing?
Yeah.
Sore bones.
I think my bones hurt. Thank you so much to everyone for coming. This was so much fun. Thank you so much to the El Rey Theater for not just tonight, but also the last 6 weeks, the whole residency. Thank you again, The Ringer and Spotify, everyone who's puts this on. This is a lot of people have to help out to do this. It's not just the three of us out here coming up with an entire, gentleman's piss club that gets approved. So thank you to them for that. And of course, thank you so much to Amazon Prime for sponsoring this event. Woo! And really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, everyone, for coming. This is so cool. We never take this for granted. It's crazy. We really appreciate you guys showing up, being able to see you guys. Thank you. And, of course, thank you, Lord!
Lord!
Woo! Thank you, Loverboy.
Yeah.
Play the porn. Oh, my God. What's Loverboy?
Loverboy was the song that we were singing.
Working
earlier.
for the weekend, right?
Everybody's working. It's from Zoolander. Sorry.
This is how it usually goes. For those of you who don't know why we say Lorne, we're referring to Lorne Michaels, the man who started SNL. And
They thank him every show.
Once a week we get an email who is Lauren? And I always tell, every once in a while we have to remind people that we're thanking Lorne Michaels the way that hosts do at the end of an SNL episode. They thank the band.
And that's why.
One day we're going to have a band at the end of our episode. We're trying to get Mariah Carey's Fantasy as our intro music. So if anybody knows her,
this is LA. Yeah, this is our best shot.
Yeah. We need her to license us that music kind of for free. But there's a lot in it for her. Brand recognition, promotion, prestige.
You know what would help us get licensed, the Mariah Carey license? If The Ringer could be acquired by one of the largest music platforms on earth.
Yeah,
that
could work.
Grease the wheels.
That could
It would
work.
help.
Let's go
Just
make a call.
crazy enough to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.